Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday morning. As usual, I got you a morning update on this incoming winter storm that's really going to crank up as early as tomorrow afternoon and evening for portions of the Carolinas, and then overnight Friday and Saturday, and then become an impactful event for portions potentially of the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast and Southern New England. So if you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button for me. Like the video if you like it. Hit me up on my social media links. I keep constant updates on what's going on. Obviously, I can't always provide constant updates on my YouTube channel, so it's a great way to stay up to date with the latest and greatest information as we're in the time frame now where we're having constant updates with the models. We're in the short range model guidance, so there's constant new data coming in. So it's a great way to stay alert on what's the latest and greatest information. So appreciate all the support, guys. Let's get rolling here. I'm bundled up. They're coming to fix my heat in my house. It's very cold. It's a good 54 degrees in my house right now, so it's very chilly. I'm going to stay home today, and so the guy can come and fix it, and someone's home. So I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers there. As looks like it's going to be completely free because of chose to get the free labor through 10 years with the warranty. So appreciate all the thoughts and prayers on that. But so let's get going here. Like I said, in the morning updates, all we do is we look at model guidance. We don't really go deep into this. We'll do that tonight. There's been a little changes, but for the most part, to stay consistent with the video I just made last night. But I'll tell you what, the thing that has been incredibly consistent is a backside snow band that's going to pivot through the Carolinas starting as early as Friday evening through the early Saturday morning time frame as we're getting into South Carolina, the Carolinas in general. So let's look at the latest NAM. Keep in mind, by the time some of you folks watch this, it could be different. We're having back and forth, especially for you folks in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. These models they're just not sure. Some models and global models are showing a very impactful system for as far areas as far west as New York City. Some models don't give New York City, for example, hardly anything. So a lot of back and forth. So let's get rolling here. The latest NAM, the storm starts to crank up. It looks like the main part of the system, according to the NAM, which, we shouldn't give too much merit to the NAM because it was an awful model. And I think it's phasing out here in the next year or so anyways. But it's still model guidance. It's still short-range model guidance, and we need to still look at it. But shows snow breaking out as early as late tomorrow evening in North Carolina. But watch this band right here as this pivots through. This is going to be more so a band. It shows snow all the way into South Carolina. It shows probably moderate to heavy snow in Charlotte. This band will pivot all the way to the coastal areas of South Carolina. I'm not going to guarantee it necessarily, but I'm highly confident that this will happen. And I really think someone in this band of snow, from the Triad of North Carolina all the way to the Midlands of South Carolina, depending on how it pivots, someone's going to get heavy snow. Someone's going to get 2 to 3 inches of snow, while maybe somebody 50 miles west of you might only get flurries. So it's going to be really isolated, but someone could get hit really hard overnight tomorrow night and a Saturday morning and wake up with a surprise covered ground of snow in the Carolinas. I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. But this band shows the pivot through all the way through the entire part of South Carolina, especially areas that normally don't see snow. And then it pulls on out, and then it's pretty much done as we get into about a mid-morning time frame. But it's already starting to crank up for areas of Virginia. The NAM has shifted a little bit more west, so it's giving you guys in the big cities along the I-95 corridor, like Baltimore, Philadelphia, into New York City. It's giving you guys a little bit more snow, but it really turns into a major and significant storm system for Boston. For the latest NAM, it really does. And I really don't think Boston's going to get out of this. I think they're going to get hit really hard. We look at the latest HRRR model. I'll tell you, there'll be another long-range HRRR model, which I love, because once we get really, really close starting tomorrow, we'll get updated information every single hour. But the latest long-range HRRR model, and there'll be another one that comes out here in an hour. This is what it shows. It shows the beginning origin of the storm cranking up, and it's already showing that band starting to pivot through the Carolinas, and it's already starting to get into the Midlands of South Carolina. You got heavy snow, and I really think some of the snow will be falling at some pretty heavy rates here. You got heavy snow pivoting through the Carolinas, getting as far south as central South Carolina. And this is the last frame of it, which is valid for about 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning. But the latest HRRR model is not looking that good for the Mid-Atlantic cities and getting into the Northeast, like New York City and Long Island. for a big snow if you want big snow. I'm speaking as if you want big snow as the viewer. It already looks really east, but I'm telling you, there's going to be ticks all day. I called yesterday, hashtag bad trends Wednesday, and it's only because last Wednesday there was bad trends too, as far as people who want snow, bad being less snow, obviously. So we'll see how today is. There's not been really any huge better trends as far as people who want snow this morning. Yesterday evening was starting to look good into overnight, but look at the latest RGEM model, which did very well in the last system to affect the Carolinas. Here it goes. We're getting into Friday morning. Here comes the moisture pivoting through. This will be all rain right here. There's just not enough cold air digging down enough, or these areas in coastal and eastern areas of South Carolina and then to areas in North Carolina could get an all-out snowstorm as we're getting into a Friday. Now, this will begin to change the snow. So there's basically going to be a battle between the backside snow and the actual coastal system. So areas of eastern North Carolina are actually potentially, and I really think they are, depending on where you are going to get snow off the actual coastal system. And then there's going to be backside moisture as an upper level low cranks up. Then that is what's going to pivot this band of snow south. But as this is cranking up into the Delmarva area, Southeast Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, you have this band of moisture that begins to pivot through with northwest. There's a lot going on. You got northwest flow kicking up into the mountains. If you pick this weekend to go to mountains, it's another great weekend if you want to see snow. And then this band's pivoting through. But on this model, it's a little bit further. It's kind of oriented a little bit further east. So it only gives, it doesn't make it as far west and really covers up areas of the central South Carolina area. It's more of the eastern Midlands into the PD and things like that, which I think is almost a guarantee at this point that they'll see at least maybe a dusting of snow at least. But this pivots through, and this is actually a better run for people who want winter weather for areas along the I-95 corridor all the way up through Baltimore, Philadelphia, and it's just not quite getting to Washington D.C. But southeast PA, maybe a few inches of snow, which I know is nothing too crazy for you guys at all. But this is very close to being big for New York City still, and I still think there'll be some tweaks in the models today. But Long Island gets crushed, especially the eastern tip of Long Island. And this gets into Boston, and there just looks to be a big-time band that sets up in Boston as you get later into your Saturday. We'll look at the RAP model, the RAP model. It's pretty much what I call it. This is hit or miss, but it's constant model information. But it is hit or miss. But it is very aggressive with this backside band. Here we go. We get this cranking up here, and here comes this band. I'm telling you, I think Charlotte is going to be in surrounding counties like Rock Hill and then surrounding counties from north, east, and west. I think they're going to be the jackpot of this band. I think Charlotte could pick up anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow from this band overnight. I really do. But what happens to the south of Charlotte and to the southeast of Charlotte and how much snow could they see is still a question mark. And Charlotte could still miss. But this band is going to be its own entity. It's going to do its thing here. And it's, getting all the way into Columbia, South Carolina, pivots through, drops a couple inches there, and makes it all the way to Charleston and Myrtle Beach, especially Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. And but the coastal system does not really seem to be a big factor in eastern North Carolina. And if you go back and look at this model, it did. You back it up here, and it shows the coastal system some love in the eastern Carolinas and southeast Virginia. This doesn't even really show southeast Virginia much. It really doesn't. It shows a complete whiff altogether, it's starting to look like, for the I-95 corridor, including Philadelphia, Baltimore, and New York City. It really does. And it looks like it's going to come up in southern New England, but there's just so much back and forth. We look at the GFS. We'll get this cranking here. The GFS is starting to show this backside band a lot more over the last few runs. It really is. In fact, it's starting to trend a little south. But you see these darker blues. This is pretty heavy. Oh, it's not letting me see any soundings. But this is pretty heavy snow showing up in these areas. But it doesn't really show the coastal low being a factor for areas of Virginia into eastern North Carolina. And it barely scrapes Delaware into New Jersey as you're getting into Saturday afternoon. And really, it's just not a good run if you want winter weather for the entire eastern seaboard in general, unless you're in the Carolinas and you're getting some love off that backside band. You're looking at the latest Euro. You guys are definitely wanting to cling to the Euro if you want winter weather. And here's the latest Euro. We're going through here. Here comes that backside band. Heavy snow breaking out over the Carolinas. but it's really close for areas. I really think areas in far northeast areas of North Carolina and southeast Virginia are going to get into this just western fringe of this heavier snow from the coastal low, getting into Delaware. We're getting into the Saturday morning time frame, and this is really ramping up just offshore for Delaware, New Jersey. But I really think eastern Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island could get crushed here with some heavy snow, 6 to 12 inches potentially. And then the band really sets up over Boston. We'll go a little further up the eastern seaboard for my folks up in the northeast. And let me go on and click a little further in time here. And, you know, it just does not get far enough west to really affect interior areas of the northeast. But I'm telling you guys, these things tend to trend northwest in time, regardless of whatever blocking you're talking about. They just tend to do that. And look at these big time snowfall totals showing up just offshore. It shows Cape Cod getting absolutely crushed. This is extremely heavy snow right here. But it just doesn't quite make it. Now you watch for that band to pivot through into Maine, the down east areas of Maine and coastal areas of Maine. I think this will be a big time crushing snowstorm for you guys. Look at the latest CMC from overnight, showing that backside band right here, showing the snow. This would give some snow for areas of northeast Virginia. Northeast North Carolina, southeast Virginia from the coastal event. It's a good hit for the Delmarva area. It's a good hit for New York City. It's showing some light to moderate snow in areas of the I-95 corridor south of New York City, and it's a pretty substantial blow to southern New England, including Boston, and then up to Maine. You look at the snowfall totals from the latest Euro, which was the 06Z. Look at this band showing up. Someone's going to get, I don't know who, but someone's going to get kind of screwed in North Carolina between the coastal low and then the backside moisture. Someone's going to be sitting in between of that, I think in Virginia and North Carolina, and get whiffed on. I don't know who. It might be Raleigh, because I was just talking about a few days ago that Raleigh could get snow. And when I say these things, a lot of people comment and say, oh, well, no, Raleigh's not going to get anything. Now, that's not what I mean. It's just what I'm looking at. And these backside bands tend to overperform, not underperform. But showing a few inches of snow in Charlotte and surrounding counties, showing almost an inch in Columbia. For my Columbia folks, if you're in Augusta, I don't know. But for my Columbia folks, I really feel like from Columbia points northeast could see enough snow to potentially make the ground white as you're waking up Saturday morning. But there is a chance that this could pivot more west and Columbia may be more on the jackpot area of heavier snow as in maybe an inch or two. And then there's a chance that it might stay confined to just northeast of Columbia, and then Columbia only gets some flurries. But I think regardless, someone like Columbia down to Charleston, it shows an inch of snow in Charleston for the latest Euro, more snow than Columbia. It's pretty crazy stuff. It's going to be hard to figure out what's going to happen with this band. But as you can tell with the coastal low really cranks up. Far northeast North Carolina, southeast Virginia, Delmarva area, the peninsula gets crushed. And then I really think somewhere in New Jersey, there's going to be a big time cutoff where maybe the far areas of northern New Jersey might not get much at all if we're looking at the Euro. And then southern areas of New Jersey might get almost a foot of snow. And then same thing with New York City, the latest Euro. It's not as good as the overnight Euro, the 18Z Euro, but this is going to change. It's going to change. It might get worse, but it might get a lot better. And I would lean towards it getting better. I really would. But y'all are definitely not going to probably like the GFS. The GFS is almost not even a non-event unless you're way out on Cape Cod getting crushed with a foot and a half. Now, this is the National Weather Service forecast, which I think is the best thing to look at. They're leaning towards heavier snowfall totals further west. And I think the reason is because they're accounting for that northwest trend. And history says that it will happen. But Boston showing around a foot or more snow just south of Boston, even more. And then, calling for snow even in North Carolina. There's even forecasted snow as far south as South Carolina. And then obviously the Northwest Flow event for my folks in Virginia. I think y'all will get a little bit snow into Friday. It's not going to be a blockbuster event for you guys, I don't think. But I'm telling you guys, listen to me. Into today, into tomorrow, because we got really 2 full days, especially for you folks in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. There's still time for this to trend better for you guys who want winter weather. And of course, for people who don't want winter weather, you're pulling for this not to happen and stay about the same. But closer look at the Carolinas from this European model. I mean, this drops a few inches of snow on the ground. And I'm telling you guys, this backside band is going to be snowing pretty hard. It's not like you're going to get 10 hours of snow. You're probably going to get anywhere from 3 to maybe 6 hours of snow, depending on where you are, if that. But it's going to drop some snow pretty quickly, and I would not be surprised if someone gets some thunder snow. I mean, you're going to hear a crack of thunder while it's snowing. This is going to be convective in nature. With these backside bands and these upper level lows, they're always convective in nature, meaning they're almost like thunderstorms of snow. Now, there's more that goes into it than just saying it's a thunderstorm of snow, but you get what I'm saying. But you also see what I'm saying from my folks in Columbia, because I know I started off talking about weather in South Carolina, so I know I got a lot of folks who listen in from South Carolina, but you see what I'm talking about, right? Right on the fringe of a few inches of snow. In fact, Richland County gets a couple inches of snow, but Lexington County, maybe a dusting to a half an inch. But please don't look at this and say, oh, this is what's going to happen. That's not how it goes, guys. It really isn't. But you see this dry spot in areas of central North Carolina and eastern North Carolina. I wouldn't be so sold on that. I really wouldn't. This is going to be spotty in the Carolinas. It's going to be a spotty event, and someone's going to want to rip their hair out, and someone's going to be very happy. But we'll see how it goes. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed day, and of course, I will have you an update this evening.